So a jury just ruled that YouTube and Instagram are defective products, not because of what people are posting on them, but because of how they were designed. And that literally has never happened before. So if you make content here on YouTube, what I'm about to tell you could change how this entire platform works. So I've been on YouTube for over 15 years now, and my two channels combined have more than 350,000 subscribers, more than 22 million long-form organic views. And over the past several years, I've gone deep, like really deep, into the psychology of attention. And everything I teach is actually built on understanding the same attention that just got put on trial in a Los Angeles courtroom. So I definitely have some thoughts on this and why I felt moved to shoot this video. And I promise you, my views are probably different than what everybody else is going to say about it. Okay, so let me tell you what actually went down, because people are just going to see the headlines and completely miss why this matters as much as it does. So a 20-year-old woman sued Meta and Google, right? So Instagram and YouTube for this example. She started using YouTube when she was 6. Yes, 6 years old. She got her Instagram account when she was 9, even though you're supposed to be 13 technically, but what do I know, right? She said that these platforms messed her up. I'm talking about depression, anxiety, body image issues, and addiction to social media that still affected her daily life as an adult. And I think a lot of us can actually relate to some of these things. Now, the trial lasted 7 weeks. You had Zuckerberg, you had the head of Instagram, you had the VP of engineering over at YouTube, all testifying in court. And when it was all over, the jury found both companies liable on every single count. They said that Meta and YouTube were both negligent on how they designed their platform, that they knew that their product was dangerous, that they didn't warn anybody, and because of it, it directly caused this young woman harm. Now, the jury awarded $6 million in damages, and I already know what some of you guys are thinking, right? $6 million to companies that are worth trillions? It's like a freaking parking ticket, but the money doesn't matter as much here. What matters is what this verdict just made possible. This is the part that should make every creator stop and pay attention. This case wasn't just about what people post on these platforms. It wasn't about cyberbullying or anything harmful that we've seen in the past, even, misinformation. The lawyers went after the design itself, the infinite scroll, autoplay, the recommendation algorithm itself, right? Notifications, beauty filters, all these different things were argued that these features were deliberately built to be addictive. Like a slot machine, I think they used that example. And the companies knew it and chose profits over protecting children. And the jury agreed. This has never before happened in a courtroom here in this country. Think about that. How long has YouTube been out? How long has Instagram been out? And I want to hear from you right now. What is your opinion on it? What was your gut reaction when you first heard about this? Or maybe this video is the first time you're hearing about it. But either way, are you surprised? Do you feel a little bit relieved? I want you guys to drop your opinions in the comments, because most creators don't even know that this happened yet. And what you don't know about it can absolutely hurt you. All right, so let me tell you why this isn't just one lawsuit that magically disappears. This case is what's called a bellwether trial. It basically means that it was handpicked to set the tone for about 2,000 other lawsuits that are lined up right behind it. Yes, 2,000. And the day before the verdict dropped, that I'm telling you about, a completely separate jury in New Mexico hit Meta with $375 million in their verdict for failing to protect kids from predators on Instagram. 2 massive losses in 2 days. Now check this out. The lawyers in this case are comparing it to lawsuits against big tobacco in the 90s. And obviously nobody's saying that social media literally kills people the way that cigarettes do, but the legal playbook is almost identical. Companies knowingly design an addictive product, market them to kids, and hid what they actually knew about the dangers. Those tobacco lawsuits forced the industry to stop targeting minors and pay billions in settlements. And we could be watching the beginning of the same kind of thing happening on social media right now. Now, let's be real. Will all 2,000 of these cases go the exact same way? Probably not. But the precedent is set here. A jury officially said how these platforms are built can be treated as a defective product. And you can't really undo that. And here's the legal piece that makes all of this so wild. For 30 years, tech companies have been hiding behind this law called Section 230, which is basically saying that platforms aren't responsible at all for what their users post. It's been their get out of jail free card since 1996. But these lawyers didn't go after that content. They went after the machine itself. They said, forget what the people are posting, dog. Look at how the platform itself was built. It's such a clever loophole here. And because they framed it as a defective product, Section 230 didn't apply. Okay, so now for the part that you guys actually care about. What does this mean for you as a creator? If this verdict holds up, and remember, there's 2,000 other cases floating around, plus a federal trial that kicks off this summer, YouTube's going to be under an enormous amount of pressure to redesign the platform, the way it looks, the way it works. the features that we're used to. And two of the features that I think are mostly in the crosshairs are two features that creators rely on the most. Autoplay being the first. That's the feature that automatically starts the next video as soon as your video ends. And right now, Autoplay is one of the most powerful growth tools that any of us as creators have, even when we're not in control of it. It feeds the session time. It's how viewers go from watching one of your videos to watching 3 or 4 in a row without even thinking about it. And if YouTube is forced to change or limit autoplay, especially with younger users, that directly affects how your content gets discovered and how your watch time builds. Creators who have built an audience that's dependent on suggested, dependent on autoplay, they're going to feel it if that happens. Creators who built their audiences based on maybe search intent or their brand, their name, they're going to be just fine as they always have been. Now let's talk about the recommendation algorithm. The jury basically said that the way that YouTube recommends videos is part of the addictive design. Sit with that for a second. Just think about it. The algorithm is how most creators get their views, the majority of them. Browse features, suggested videos like I just mentioned, the homepage. It's all the algorithm. And all the algorithm is a preference engine to try to pair the right videos to the right viewers. If YouTube has to rethink how it recommends videos, that changes how impressions work. That changes how viewers find you. That changes how small channels get discovered. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give you an honest take that I don't think you're going to hear from anybody else who teaches YouTube growth. I've spent years, more than 5 years now, in fact, it started before COVID, deep diving the psychology on why people watch things, curiosity loops, the dopamine, how the brain reacts to novelty, how it reacts to reward, all of that stuff. I've studied it obsessively, not because I wanted to manipulate anybody, but because I got so frustrated that I truly wanted to understand what makes content that actually lands versus content that gets ignored. And honestly, that's exactly why none of this verdict stuff surprises me at all. I saw how these platforms were working a long time ago. Most people are just now catching up with it. They're seeing that there's another layer to it. The same psychology I use to help creators make better videos is the same psychology that these companies use to hook kids. Curiosity gaps, variable reward schedules, dopamine hits every few seconds. The science is the same. So what makes it different? Okay, so when I help a creator build out, let's say, a 10-minute video that holds attention, the viewer walks away with something useful at the end of that video. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end to all of our videos. They got what they came for, or at least that's always the goal. Now, when Instagram engineers infinite scroll, there's no endpoint. There's no moment where the app pops up and says, okay, you got what you came for. Take care. Have a good day. It's designed to never let you leave. It's designed to make you feel worse. So you keep scrolling, looking for something to make you feel better, and that something never comes. One has an off-ramp, the other one doesn't. And look at what came out in court. Their own internal documents showed that 11-year-olds were 4 times more likely to keep coming back to Instagram than users of any other app. And instead of seeing that as a big red flag, a big no-no, they saw it as a competitive advantage. One of their own internal memos even said, and this came out during the trial, if we want to win big with teens, we got to bring them in as tweens. Think about that. Bring them in as tweens. That's not building a product people love. That's hunting children for revenue, and it's f***ing disgusting. And I don't know your life, you watching this right now. I don't know what your background is. I don't know how old you are, but I watch my own kids interact with screens. We have 2 very young kids, and my wife and I had to set some real boundaries around screen time in our house in order to plan for this, because we see what's going on. And they're like 2.5 and 8 months. They're not getting access to an iPad or anything like that, and they probably won't. Because these apps have such a pull on young brains. It's not subtle at all. You guys see this from a mile away. Have you guys ever dealt with this, by the way? You got like maybe 5, 10, 15-year-old kids. How's it affected your house? Or maybe not at all. Give me some good stories. It's not something that you could just parent away when these apps were built by some of the smartest engineers alive to make as hard as possible to put down. I have some stories about seeing kids out and about who got their iPad taken away, and I know some of you guys as parents might have experienced that firsthand. And here's the thing, a jury finally said that out loud. And honestly, I think it's about time somebody did. Now, I know it might sound weird hearing me say it's about time, while also warning you that this could completely change how our channels grow. But I think both things can be true. I can believe that these companies need to be held accountable while also understanding that the ripple effect could potentially hit creators who didn't do anything wrong. And that's just how it works. All right, so here's what I want you guys to do with this. First and foremost, don't panic. YouTube isn't going anywhere. 2.5 billion monthly users, more than 500 hours of video that are uploaded every single minute. but it is going to change, and you guys know that. So the question is whether you're going to change with it or you're just going to keep doing the same thing forever and fall behind. That's really the question here. I think it's safe to say that we all need to double down on providing real value through our videos. If the platform ever gets forced to pull back a little bit even on the mindlessly scrolling content, right? The creators who come out on top are going to be the ones that have content that is so good that people come back to their channel on purpose, not because Autoplay fed it to them, because the viewer typed in a question that you had an answer to, or even better, they typed your name because they trust you, you built your brand. That's the kind of audience that the algorithm update can never touch. And guys, pay attention to what's happening next. Like I said, 2,000 more lawsuits, a federal trial that's starting in just a few months. California's Attorney General has a trial against Meta in August. This isn't going to slow down. If anything, it's speeding up because people are going to see who have filed for what, and they're going to be like, oh, I can do that. Most creators in the space have no idea of any of this happening, but you do. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you want to future-proof your channel and build something that is sustainable for years to come, even with all the updates, I have everything that you guys need into my ultimate YouTube growth guide. It's a perfect companion for all of my videos here on this channel. It's free. More than 6,000 people have downloaded it in just like the last 30 days alone. I'll have a link in the description box below. It's free, but if you download it, please use it. Apply it to what you're doing. Enjoy. And if you haven't yet, watch this video next to take your channel to the next level. I'd love for you guys to join the channel family here by clicking that little subscribe button. Let me know what you're most concerned about and what you love to see in the same breath. And until next time, I appreciate you watching.